Here's something almost unfair that most people will never say out loud. A mature woman doesn't fall for words anymore. She's heard every compliment, read every sweet message, and sat through countless candlelit dinners where men tried too hard to say the right thing. Words stopped impressing her long ago. So what truly moves her? What actually opens the heart she spent years protecting? The answer isn't in language, it's in touch. But not just any touch. I'm talking about deliberate, psychologically powerful touches that speak in ways words simply cannot. They convey safety, confidence, tenderness, desire, all without saying a single thing. Dr. Dasher Kellner, a psychologist at UC Berkeley, conducted a fascinating study where strangers were asked to express emotions using only brief touches on the forearm. No words, no facial expressions, just touch. Remarkably, people could correctly identify emotions like love, gratitude, and sympathy up to 78% of the time. Think about that. Your words wish they were that effective. This explains why some men seem to effortlessly create deep connection, while others try everything and still end up in the friend zone. It's not about what they say, it's about how they touch. And a mature woman, someone who knows herself and what she wants, responds on a completely different level than someone in her 20s. Before I walk you through the 7 most powerful touches, there's a warning. 2 of these may seem ridiculously simple, so much so that you'll be tempted to dismiss them. Don't. These are the ones mature women have told me make them feel emotions they can't even explain. And the last one, the 7th touch, has such a profound effect that relationship therapists actually recommend it to couples on the brink of separation. The first touch is what I call the slow lower back guide. You may roll your eyes thinking it's basic courtesy, but hear me out. The science behind it is incredible. When you gently place your hand on the small of her back, walking through a doorway, moving through a crowd, standing together, it activates one of the densest clusters of nerves in the human body, connected directly to the brain's emotional centers. A slow, warm, confident hand communicates, "I see you. I'm here." It bypasses logic entirely. The timing and pressure matter. Too quick feels casual, too heavy feels controlling, but a steady, gentle hand triggers a protective bonding response. Her body reads it as safety. Her brain releases oxytocin, and she begins to associate your presence with calm. For a woman who's carried the weight of her world alone, this simple touch can feel more romantic than any grand gesture. I once read a woman in her late 40s say that a hand on her back while entering a restaurant made her feel something she hadn't in 15 years. She felt chosen. That's the quiet power of this gesture when done right. The second touch is the 2-handed handhold, and it's criminally underrated. Most people hold hands, but this is different. Take her hand and gently cover it with your other hand, fully cradling it. Maybe during a conversation, maybe in a quiet moment, or after she's shared something personal. This works because of bilateral stimulation. Engaging both hands sends a symmetrical signal her brain interprets as full presence and attention. Therapists use this in EMDR therapy to help people process trauma. When you hold her hand this way, her mind senses, you are fully here. You are safe. A mature woman who has spent years with half-present partners experiences this as a powerful emotional reset. It tells her, I see you completely. And that contrast alone makes you unforgettable. The third touch is surprisingly subtle, the forehead touch. Not a kiss, but gently pressing your forehead to hers, eyes closed, breathing, aligning. The world quiets, everything else fades, and connection deepens without a single word. This might feel almost too intimate for something so simple, but the psychological impact of this gesture is massive. Dr. Sue Johnson, the founder of emotionally focused therapy and one of the most influential relationship researchers alive, talks about what she calls bonding moments, tiny interactions that trigger the attachment system in adults the same way a mother's touch does in infants. Pressing your forehead against hers is one of the most powerful bonding moments two people can share. Why? Because it demands vulnerability from both sides. You can't do this from across the room. You have to be close, slow down, and let your guard drop. For a mature woman who has built walls to protect herself from years of nonsense, this touch is a gentle knock on a door she forgot existed. It doesn't demand anything. It doesn't try to escalate. It simply says, I am right here and nothing else matters. A man who can do this without rushing it, without turning it into a joke or forcing it into something else, communicates emotional intelligence far beyond what most people show in an entire relationship. Touch number 4 is the back of the neck gesture, and I almost didn't include it because of how effective it is. The nape is one of the most sensitive and vulnerable areas on the body, loaded with nerve endings. Because it's a place she can't easily see or protect, touching it triggers both arousal and trust at the same time, something almost no other touch does. When a man gently places his hand on the back of her neck, sitting beside her, leaning in, or whispering something, the brain runs a quick evaluation. Am I safe? Can I trust him? Does this feel good? If all 3 answers are yes, the reaction is immediate. Her breathing shifts, pupils dilate, and neurochemicals like dopamine and oxytocin flood her system. The exact formula for romantic connection. A younger woman might overlook this, but a mature woman instantly recognizes the confidence, desire, and ease behind it. Timing is everything, though. This works only after trust has been built. Number 5 is the thumb stroke, the one that seems almost unfair. This happens when you're already touching her hand, arm, shoulder, or knee, and your thumb moves slowly, rhythmically, over her skin. You don't announce it. You don't stare at your hand. You just do it naturally while talking. Specialized nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents respond to this slow touch and connect directly to the brain regions that process intimacy and bonding. Her body feels it, even if she doesn't consciously notice. Over time, this subtle gesture creates emotional closeness without effort. A mature woman who has seen performative or absent affection her whole life experiences this as effortless tenderness, and that quiet, uncalculated care is what makes her fall, not gifts or grand gestures. Touch 6 is what I call the silent pull. Sitting beside her or standing close, you gently draw her nearer, your arm around her shoulder, your hand on her waist, without a word. No announcement, no performance, just movement. This mirrors secure attachment, the instinctive desire to close distance between two people who feel safe together. For a woman who has spent years feeling she had to earn closeness, this simple pull says, I want you near me, not for what you do, but for who you are. It rewrites the stories she's been telling herself for years. When a confident, self-sufficient woman experiences this, she melts into the gesture, feeling truly wanted and safe. Finally, number 7, the long hold hug. Not a quick squeeze, not a casual side hug, but a full chest-to-chest embrace for at least 20 seconds. Research shows that hugs this long trigger oxytocin while lowering cortisol, reducing stress, slowing heart rate, and activating parasympathetic relaxation, the state where real bonding happens. Relationship experts like Dr. John Gottman recommend long hugs to restore emotional trust. For a mature woman who has endured heartbreak, loss, and betrayal, a deliberate, unhurried embrace allows her to release the weight she carries alone. It's not about impressing or exciting her. It's about giving her permission to rest for a moment, to feel safe, and to let down walls she's held up for years. If you can give her that, she will choose you consciously, repeatedly, with every part of herself she's protected from the wrong people. There you have it. 7 touches, all backed by science and lived experience, showing that real connection isn't about money, status, or timing. It's about awareness, presence, and intentionality. But knowing these gestures is only half the story. A mature woman won't wait for you to figure it out blindly. She gives subtle, consistent signals when she's ready for closeness. Most men miss these entirely. That's why the next video is crucial. It's called If a Woman Wants Intimacy with You, She Will Always Do These 6 Things, Psychology. And it teaches you how to recognize when she's already opening up. Watch it now, because if you miss those signs, none of what you've learned here will matter. You won't even know when the moment is right.